Hello, welcome to another piano lesson with Richard Yang. Today I'm going to cover a piece that I cannot pronounce the name. It's Bauklötze? I don't know. It's Hange's final theme from Attack on Titan, the latest from Animenz. It's such an epic piece. I totally loved it. And the good thing about this piece is that it sounds very impressive, but it's actually not that difficult. At least I don't think it's that difficult. So hopefully after this lesson you can enjoy the music just as much as I personally did. This is one of my new favorites, by the way, absolute favorite. Yeah. So I'm gonna get right to it. The beginning should be fairly simple. You just need to note that those F sharps, right? Consider them just as a sidekick. They are definitely not your melody or anything, right? They are just there to keep the pace, to make sure there's something there, but you want to bring out a melody, but not the F sharps, okay? So that's, and also the beginning section is extremely expressive. So take your time to think about how you want to implement rubato in this case. You may have a choice, but the way that I did it, if you listen to my recording, that is how Animenz did it. I really like it that way, but be creative, who knows? Right, so I'm gonna play that very slowly. So that's how to play the notes. But I want to talk a little bit about the phrasing in this. It's so important, right? And so in the beginning, it's almost like you are bringing this up to speed. So the speed is never completely constant, right? So it's almost like in the beginning you want to bring this up to speed, right? Some time. See, every time you get to the new measure, it almost seems like you want to be, really slow down a little bit and, let it sink in, right? So one more time. Note that the left hand, right, you want to emphasize this note, and the next one, these are melodies as well, right? And at the end of the line you have right? So these are all important, so make sure you want to bring them out, other than the left hand melody, of course. Issues with tremolo. Personally I do, because I injured my muscles way back, and then now I cannot do this for too long. But this is pretty short, so it's fine. So just simply shake it, right? Section A. So section A, this is not difficult really, but just know the it's just count. If you cannot get that, just do that a little slow. Do that a little slower until you get the rhythm. It's gonna click because it's it's not nothing complicated, right? Do you want me to go slower? So here you can. I personally chose this the most straightforward fingering. But some of you might not like this because it requires your fourth finger to be very clear. Like the way, or you can switch over, right? Or do it my way. So it depends. For me, this one is a lot because I can bring this phrasing a lot more direct without the because when you do a changeover, sometimes the tone can kind of break. Well, it depends on who is playing it, but I personally I like it this simple. I don't want to be confused. For this section, if you watch the right hand is all the same, right? Right, left hand. Right, so. The rhythm, hopefully it can click. I personally did not practice separate right hand and left hand because this is fairly simple. If you separate the right hand and left hand, by the time you put them together, you might get confused again, right? So might as well, just tough it out straight up both hands, right? So I'll play that very slowly. So hopefully you don't have any issue here. So I'm at the second last line, last measure. Remember, in the middle break, both hands start together. So hopefully this will make it less confusing, right? Here. So they start at the same time. That's so when you practice this slowly, just keep that in mind so that it's less confusing. And regarding the hand, left hand and right hand on those notes, Animenz mark the what hand to play, so it should be easy. As you can see, it's very easy. And on the left hand, you want to, be able to, you can practice this. Right? So if you can do that, that's really all there is, right? So section B, the first line is in fact probably the most confusing line in this piece. Probably not the most difficult, but the most confusing. And why do I say that? Because I personally still get confused. Right? So watch this very slowly. that is the fingering. You can slow down in YouTube to watch how that's played. But obviously, you want to know the melody. Right? So that's your melody. Everything else is all accompaniment, right? So you want to just keep that in mind. So when you bring out the, you want to bring out mostly on your left hand and keep the right hand fairly small. I'm gonna exaggerate here to bring out a melody, just to bring the point. So this is the confusing part, especially the first, second measure and second and third measures measure specifically. This is extremely confusing. You might be surprised. So I encourage you to try this slowly and try to bring out the speed. See if you're confused. So the trick is to know that when you hit the D, right, the left hand is gonna go for 3 notes at a time, and the right hand will join at the 3rd note. I don't know if that makes any sense. That's what you're seeing, but this is how you think. That's how I think. So that's a pretty fast jump, right? This part you just practice slowly, and you should get it. At least playing slowly, you should be able to get it. And then when you're more familiar, then crank up the speed. And now a little more involved now. Here I'm gonna roll it because I cannot play that, right? So I need to roll it. So you're gonna hear a little bit of offbeat there, right? So watch that slowly. Right? Here is a melody. You're switching hand. So that's your melody, just remember that. So I'm gonna do this one more time. Hopefully this is a little more involved, but once you get a hang of it, it shouldn't be too bad. So I'm just 2 measures before section C. Here is probably the biggest left hand jump in this piece, so it's not too bad, but just practice, right? And this is pretty convenient because it's right in front of a black key. So if you just move over, that's the first thing where your finger will get stuck in. That's the note you need. Okay. And the left hand, watch this carefully. You need to read the music very, very carefully. You don't want to be confused with that by that tie on the B. So because you need to play this. You know what? Let me just do that one more time. Hopefully section C. Melody is here, so bring it out, but it's a mezzo piano, so don't push it. So there's an accent there. Now, for people who are not used to counting things, please do. Da, 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 even this is right. Just remember, this is that's an eighth note, right? An eighth. So with that, you make one whole beat. And now that takes us to section D. So this is the first big section. So I'm gonna show you right hand first because it's very easy. This might not be because this is pretty awkward, at least for me, small hand anyway. So just get familiar with that position, which is very awkward to begin with. So so spend some time there. Right, and the left hand, I'm gonna do that slower. This should not be difficult. As you can hear from this, there's a very cool rhythm, just like the section A. Now, two hands together, slow. So here is the only place that you might be a little confused, right? Right. Oh, sorry. Right. So that's a rhythm. And on the left hand, make very sure that you play the full all 4 16th notes. Don't miss the last one. Otherwise, the overall rhythm will be messed up. So you right, you need to make sure that you play every note. Now, continue. Now, this is for me a very difficult spot. You might not find this difficult because this is a ninth, right? So at ninth, at any speed faster than very, very slow, like to me is a risk. Right? So hopefully you're better at this than me. So. And before that, let's do it one more time. So this section is probably the first epic moment, and I really love it so much that you need to do it again. So first of all, you need to play it at the speed that you're comfortable at. Hopefully one that allows you to play perfectly. because when you can play this perfectly, at least on time, however slow, once the rhythm clicks, this will be magically so much easier right there. Okay. And the only real tip that I have for you is on this page. First measure. Here, it is probably the only place I would have to look down on the keyboard. I would look at where the B is. Right? Because once you know this, you know this is a major seventh, so that's how you aim, right? Now takes us to section E, and section E, please hold those notes, and now left hand. Okay, so. And that's how you take it here. So really the same thing as the right hand, it's just that you're doing this with the left hand, and hopefully it doesn't bother you too much. So hopefully that makes sense. Right now. So here, if you have, because this is really not hard at all, it's just the rhythm may be not surprising, maybe new, whatever. If you simply play very slowly, because there is no gap in between notes, meaning that at least every 16th, you at least have every 16th notes. Oh no, you have some ties. But anyway, the rhythm should be very, it should just make sense, okay? Here I'm playing with the right hand only because I can't do this. That's way too much. Okay, and so I want to do this just one last time because I want to show you. So I'm here, third line on this page. Like for example here. So because the D comes right after this, so it feels very, very closely packed. Right? So if you really have difficulty, just read the rhythm as shown on the music literally. Well, you should be doing that anyway, but if you don't yet read music too well, this is the time that you should learn how to read music, at least on the rhythm portion. So depending on how many stems, is it 8th, 16th, whatever, right? So make sure that makes sense to you. Section E. Section E is very fairly simple, fairly slow. So just know that your melody is in the middle. Right. So everything else small. So for example, here you emphasize your thumb, but not your fourth finger. But you're playing both notes, but you hear more C sharp than the F sharp. Right. So that's the idea. So hopefully there's no question there. Just you just need to bring on a melody. That's it. And but of course, the right hand you should know the rhythm, right? Why am I confused? All right, section F again. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but watch this one more. Let me play that. I cannot count the clapping anyway. Here, I use my right hand only because here is usually where I have to turn the page. So with the right hand, I can use my left hand to turn the page, but you can use left hand all you want, right? Suddenly, big. You can even lift this off. The Animenz puts staccato here. I don't think it's staccato, but simply lift off. Right, so section G. So section G is probably one of the favorites. It's a huge, and that's the epic part. So play that slowly. Oh, here, if you are able to reach this, lucky you, because I can't, and that sucks, okay? So the way I do it is I do the E on the left hand, F, and the rest on the right hand. This was actually suggested to me from one of my YouTube viewers. He said, "Hey, why don't you play this on the left hand?" And I thought, "Hey, I tried it out. Hey, that's brilliant. It works." Right? So one more time. That's the fingering, but now I'm gonna go a little one more time, and I'll explain on while I play. Yeah. So to play this with the right hand, you do this. So that's it's actually a pretty big jump. So you don't want to, if you're not too familiar with jumping, especially and it's on the left hand as well, which makes it, some people that will find it more difficult. So so if you can reach this, that would be the best bet. But if you cannot, that will work too, right? So. So you want to make sure you have the hand shape ready. For example, second line, first measure. Right? Right? You want to get that ready. Now the next measure, just know that normally when we play, for example, fifth, we expect a fourth up to complete the octave, but in this case, we're playing a fifth here, fifth here. Right? So you need to open up your hand slightly more than regular. Just an octave, so that's just the only difference. So you get your hand shape ready, and you need to be very familiar with where your bass octave is, because no matter where you are, you're gonna jump back to it. Right? So you want to make very sure you know where to jump to. So because for me these are are really deep inside my brain now, so I don't need to even look at them. But if you can have to stare at it, please do. But be familiar with it. Look at it. Right. So know your bass. Now one last time. So I'm gonna do second line from top. This is the first time I think that the pattern changes. And you have an extra bass here. And now, so for this jump, you just so obviously know where the E is. So you need to whatever you were doing before, suddenly play an E. Whatever you're doing, play the E. So I don't know, that sounds that might be a little stupid, but that is how a good way to be familiarized with where E is, right? So you do play whatever and come back to this right away. See if you can hit it, right? So this is the same concept, right? And same thing. So if I played it slow motion, looks like this. Right. So if you just do that slowly, eventually you get it a little faster, and then you'll be good. So that's how you take it to section H. Section H is exactly the same as before, so I'm just gonna play through it. Smaller. Section I. So this is now playing that with the left hand. So you and there is no secret here. You just need to play it the way it's written. I know that sounds very lame, but that's what you do. So if you would like, it would be nice if you can listen to the melody separately. Right? So be familiar with that, because when you match it up with the left hand, to me anyway, it actually makes it easier because it just makes so much sense. Section J. Remember, right hand, very, very small, melody here. That's it. So here, the octave, the accent happens on the fourth beat of that the second quarter note, right? So and now just make sure that you understand how to count this, right? It's this is 4/4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So this, make sure this is counted as well, right? So you have eighth note, right? So make sure you count. Now section K, this is exactly the same as before, so I'm just gonna play this over. Section L, this is going to be the climax of the entire piece. So the first two lines shouldn't be a problem, so I'll play that slowly. This is to me, it is extremely exciting. Try not to think about the rhythm as being difficult, because the rhythm is what makes this piece so epic, so great. So learn to live with it. Okay, that sounds so negative. Learn to embrace it, or to because it's good stuff. Measure on the second line, hopefully it's not too difficult, because the jump is only an octave, so it's not too bad. Now the next one, so this is probably getting to the most difficult section of the piece. You have 30-second notes, because normally in most pieces, 16 is as fast as it gets. So 30 seconds, you still have to count. So to play this in time, slowly, that's what it sounds like. So the first is a 16th rest. Imagine that as two 30-second notes, okay? So for the left hand, for this measure specifically, because the B will be shared with the right hand, so you don't need to play that. You can just play this, okay? got the rhythm now. Da, 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 and fingering wise, it's here. See here, I start with 3 to number 4. This time, number 4 again. This way, you see, it's so well written. It just the fingering wise, it just works out. Here, so here, just make sure you can get that hand shape in. Here, I use a very cheap fingering. See, instead of doing some transition, I simply did. I did that. So this, to be honest, this is really there to save time, because if I were to do this, I need to practice a few more hours to be familiar. But this, I don't need to think about it because it just makes sense, right? So your call. If you're able to do it fairly smoothly, go right ahead. But if you are more concerned, then you can do this. So one more time. Fingering wise, to your surprise, it is a lot more standard than you think. You might think you need to do something crazy. You don't. Da, 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 da. Right. So you just straight up A major scale. Oh no, not major. Anyway, G is not sharp. See, from here, right? So that's how you do it. Now, rhythm-wise, because it's technically polyrhythm, so how do you match it up? Magic is on the left hand. Right? So really, it's intertwined with the rhythm we've seen from the very beginning. Right? Again. So get into that rhythm. Right hand, hopefully you can do that, right? So that's how you do it. So putting it together. Right, so the right hand, really, I do the, if you try to play this, matching up the notes, you can speed up a little bit at the end after you do the switch over. Right? But before, okay, that sounds a little strange, but I promise you, once you practice those notes, when you can play this really well, left hand, you can do this. You play it together, it's gonna sound great. Oh, come on. Right, like that. Okay. So for now, section M. Only because I cannot reach this. So and so I'm on second line, first measure. Look at that. Look at the rhythm very, very carefully. Right? So as in the rest of the piece, if you have any doubt on the rhythm, just look at the sheet and look at it very carefully. It shouldn't be confusing at all because it's really clear. And the way I did that in my recording, I didn't really like. I accidentally hit the bottom B slightly too loud, and also I changed the pedal there. Well, it's for anybody who didn't know better, it shouldn't make a difference. But the way that the music is written, literally, you should be doing this. First of all, retard, decrescendo, and hit the B, and then slowly let go of the pedal, slowly, until you have the clean B and F sharp. Okay, so but in any case, that should be okay. Finale, section N. Here, you can do this. I do this, which is just easier. Hopefully, not too bad. So, quite frankly, I would give this piece a difficulty level of 5 to 6 out of 10, which makes it relatively easy in terms of Animenz arrangements. But the impressiveness is definitely through the roof. I totally love this. So. Happy practicing. If you have any question at all, put in a comment section below. I'll try to help. All right. Until next time. Goodbye.